The Realm Kast has begun.
Welcome to the Realm Kast. I am the Mortal Kombat fan, Tim, and with me as always is my co-host, the lore master, Yanni. Welcome, Yanni.
Thanks, man, Tim.
And with us today, we also have Mortal Kombat's most famous necromancer, Adoni Maropis, who played Quan Chi in Mortal Kombat Conquest. Welcome, Adoni.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good, thank you.
Doing good. Did I pronounce your last name correctly?
You know, you are actually the first person ever to pronounce my name correctly. That was amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for joining us.
We'll get him with the full-on Greek accent for it next as well.
Exactly. Now, I got to tell you, I did a movie one time. I was the lead actor. I show up on the set, and I'm number one, right? And it says, Adoni Maropis.
Oh my God.
What the heck was that? Like, someone said, I don't know how the heck to write this name or say it or whatever. I know Metropolis. I'm going to put that. That's the guy.
They ran your name through a spell checker, and that was the closest thing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Whenever we bring a guest on, first thing we like to ask him is, who is your favorite Mortal Kombat character?
Oh, of course, Quan Chi. What do you think? Well, I mean, to me, it would be me, of course. I mean, who else would I want to pick? But are you asking me to pick someone else, like a secondary number two? Is that what you're asking?
No,
whoever is your favorite.
If that's your favorite.
Of course, Quan Chi's got it all, man. He's got the slaves, the Playboy bunny slaves. He's got the pizzazz, he's got the colorful, character emotions. He's got it all, man.
After rewatching the series, Quan Chi had the best servants with him during the entire series.
Definitely.
Are you kidding me? You have to understand, when I was a young kid, I hope I can say this. Me and my brothers used to go into our uncle's bathroom because he had Playboy magazines and all this stuff in his cupboard there, and we would stay there forever. And I remember seeing this beautiful black woman who was actually half black, half white. And I fell in love with this girl, And then when I arrived on the set, I got off my plane and this girl meets me. I didn't know who she was. I didn't know that she was the Playboy bunny. And sure enough, it was Renee Tennyson. And here I am playing basketball with her, going out to eat with her. And then her and Jamie Presley were talking about how they were Playboy celebrity bunnies. And I was like, what are you guys talking about? And I said, oh my God, Renee, I've known you since I was 15 years old. You're my dream girl.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, that was amazing.
I think that's a big part of Mortal Kombat Conquest that most fans don't really remember is how many different Playboy bunnies and Playboy stars actually came in and acted in that show.
Hey, speak for yourself. A lot of us remember that.
That's right. Honest to God, I came home and I told the guy that I had worked with these girls, and he goes, "Really?" He opens up a closet in our house. I was sharing with like four guys. We had a nice area, big pool, jacuzzi. It was a party kind of place. Actually, I wasn't a party guy ever, but that's where I lived. And he opens up this cupboard, and he has a stack of Playboy magazines from like here to the ceiling, like unbelievable. And he licks his finger and he goes down the list and he picks out one magazine, picks out another, and he's got Jamie Presley and Renee Tennyson. He knew exactly where they were, what year.
Oh, wow.
I was like, oh my God, yeah. Yeah, he was really excited. He was really excited about that.
Before you started acting as Quan Chi in the series, were you a fan of Mortal Kombat before you were cast for that role?
Oh man, you guys are leading me into like stories I can tell you. No, I had no idea what Mortal Kombat was. Not a clue. I've never played a game in my life, ever. Not to this day. I've never played any game on the computer or on my phone. I know nothing about games, but I mean, I'd go to the movie theater and I remember seeing, these games that people would play. So when I got this audition, I had no idea who Quan Chi was. So I just figured, he's an evil sorcerer. And so I went into the audition wearing black gloves, and I sat in a chair and I did this whole audition. I had a slightly deeper voice, and I played it, the way I played it, and not quite. But the casting director said, before I even auditioned, they said, we see this guy standing. Adoni, do you mind standing? I said, well, you know what? I see him sitting until he needs to stand. So do you mind if I just do it? And they said, well, okay, but we're going to give you that adjustment afterward. And I said, that's fine. Just let me show you what I got. So I did it. I said, do you want me to stand up? And they said, no, that was great. That's fine. So I got the call back. In comes Larry Kazanoff. He says, Adoni, that was really great what you did sitting down, but we see this guy standing, and why the gloves? I said, well, I don't know. I just see this guy, some evil sorcerer from another world, and he's wearing gloves. I said, oh, okay, that's fine. That's fine. But we saw you sit. It was fantastic. But can you stand? And I said, sure. So I did it standing. And anyway, next thing you know, I get cast. I go down to Florida. Renee Tennyson picks me up. I don't know who she is. And then we go into makeup and all this stuff. And the guy shows me a drawing of what I'm going to look like. And I went, what? He says, yeah, you're going to be a white face with black lines. I said, oh my God, really? So I sat there for 2 hours, didn't open my eyes. And when I finally opened my eyes, I looked in the mirror and I went, ugh. That's when it all started. I was like, this is who this guy is. And I had no idea about game. When I went on the set, the director says, how do you see this guy? And I says, what are you asking? He says, well, do you see him sitting or standing? I said, well, listen, I said, for me, I said, this guy has all the power basically ever. I said, he doesn't need to stand unless he needs to stand. That's it. Mm-hmm. So he sits like a king, in a chair. And he goes, I agree with you, Adoni. Get Adoni a throne in here. So they brought this huge chair. And my first words were, you miserable sluts. That was the first thing out of my mouth. Sitting in a throne, on that chair. That was it. So there you go, you guys. I knew nothing about it. I read up on it. I started studying it. I remember on the plane there, I'm reading about all the realms and the characters. I'm thinking, but I had no idea what they looked like. I don't know why, but I had no idea who Quan Chi was. I had no idea about any of this stuff.
What sort of material were you studying with?
You know what? I don't remember. I just remember reading. That was back in 1998. There was no computers. There was no, research like that. I just remember reading something, and it might have been afterward. But I remember when the makeup artist showed me a picture, I was like, oh my God, really? I'm going to be in a white face? It was 2 hours of getting into this makeup and then an hour to get out of it. But oh my God, did I love it. It was the greatest. I miss that character so much. He's my favorite character of all time.
So they didn't show you anything until the makeup room, but what about, did they tell you at all about the character that you were going to be playing?
No, I knew nothing. No one told me anything, honestly. Like, I didn't know anything. I remember coming back after I did my first 2 episodes, and I went to a movie theater, and these kids were playing Mortal Kombat. And I think it was Mortal Kombat 3 or 4, I don't know. And one kid was playing Quan Chi, and I went up to him. I felt like Clark Kent. And I just barely touched this kid with my arm as he's playing. And to this day, obviously, that kid has no idea that Quan Chi was right next to him. And that was like an incredible feeling. I felt like Clark Kent, you're out about no one knows who you are. So
that's amazing.
What a joy. Yeah. So I feel bad because I know you guys are so into all this stuff, and I never was. I was just creating a character.
No need to feel bad. We actually find this so interesting. Like it's so cool how you've sort of taken this character, made him your own in this way, and then you obviously feel some sort of closeness with him despite not having played the games. And I find that amazing. I think it's great.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's what acting is. I'm a creator. I love everything I do, from my workouts to everything, is about creating my own style, creating me however it is. And even if I'm doing another role, like, people always imitate exactly how someone does it. I'm a good impersonator, but I love bringing it to life in my own way, like creating it in my own whatever's going on with that character. It's like I'm bringing it from my creation, from wherever I'm, so that's what I did. Yeah. That's all Quan Chi.
So how did you actually hear about the casting in the first place?
It was just an audition that came to me through my agent, I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my agent sent me an audition. It was just like an audition, because I've played those characters I can just create that have no limits, where I can create this character. It doesn't give me parameters as to how far I can go. And actually, when I did Quan Chi, they were scared at first, because they said, you're giving us too much. And so the second episode I did, they had the director, who was a great guy, and he had me bring it down to like a soap opera level, where I'm just basically talking head to head. And afterward, I had to do ADR, voiceover on these episodes, because the first episode was completely different than the second episode. So they asked me the guy came to LA, the producer, and he says, what are we going to do with Quan Chi? I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, the first episode is completely different than the second. I said, I know. I said, I love the first episode. To me, he goes, I'm with you. Can we turn the second episode into the first episode? I said, well, I'll give you what I can with my voice to raise up the intensity of this guy. of this character. And that's what I did. But it was so like very mundane, very brought down because they didn't want me to be this, just out there, character that I was, in the first episode, So yeah, that was interesting. So then the next 2 episodes, they let me just do your thing, Adoni, because I think the Quan Chi episode got the highest rating that year. And probably because of the Playboy bunnies in the episode. But yeah, so they let me do my thing after that. So
we're really glad that they let you do your thing because we loved your portrayal of Quan Chi.
Thanks. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Such a joy to play, man. I can't even tell you. That's why I keep doing him. I love when fans reach out, and say hello. And I mean, I have these videos up that I recently did with my niece who paints me up as Quan Chi. So we're doing these little skits now. It's so fun. So fun to do.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, you were sort of like sadistic and erratic and then also somewhat flamboyant with Quan Chi. And it was so fitting for his character in the show. It was like, and that all just came about from how you assumed he would, or how you would like to play him just based on how he looked to you.
Yeah, actually, when I opened my eyes, it just came to me. It was like I had created him a certain way with a certain, a toughness, being that sorcerer. And I can't even tell you where it came from because it's just like a deeper thing. But I just remember looking in the mirror and going, ugh. I'm like, I knew exactly that this guy's going to have a lot of fun. He's going to have a lot of fun torturing and whatever. But he's going to get angry too. He gets angry and he gets all these things. He has his emotional level when things don't go his way. It's like, I knew that he had all the like limitless emotion and it's incredible. As an actor, you get this chord, everything comes from your gut, and everything's like this chord that you play, like a violin or a guitar or something. And you hit the high notes and the low notes, and he had all of it. He had the whole, orchestra inside of him.
There was one scene where he's kind of tormenting one of his assassins and reverting them back to their how they originally looked before he brought them into servitude. And the sadism that you portrayed on that, I was just like, oh, this is perfect.
That was Jamie Presley. She was my main slave. Yeah.
Yes.
Jamie Presley. I melted her down back to form.
I love that you made it clear that you preferred them to look as demons than as humans.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The character actually was pretty new when you were cast as the role. I don't know if you knew this, but he had only been around for about 3 years while the rest of Mortal Kombat had been it was a long running franchise by that point. So you probably had a lot of leeway as far as how you wanted to portray the character, didn't you? By
the 3rd episode, I had complete leeway, but they were frightened by the leeway that I had in the first that I took. And they brought me back down, and then they said, no, cut loose. It was that sort of thing. So.
One interesting thing, actually, is that, you mentioned that you went with a deeper voice and everything. Quan Chi has been known for having a deep voice, and you really pulled it off amazingly with him. Like, when you hear his voice in any game, he's always had, I think, apart from on maybe one form of media, he's always had an extremely deep voice. And yeah, we just loved how it came across with you.
Well, yeah, thanks. For me, I always want things to appear as natural as possible, like very as real and natural. So I didn't want to do that gruff kind of sound. So I would wake up in the morning and I would just maintain this, this raspiness. So I would practice like in the morning, like when I'm making breakfast, I would keep repeating like certain lines. And one of them was, Sion, Sora, still so silent, my presence. I would just maintain that and keep that throughout the day. And usually in a typical day, because I actually sing and I can sing very high notes and low and I have a great range. I didn't want to sing or do anything that would bring that higher range in. So I would just keep it in that lower tone. And I just love that. It's like maintaining. All those things I would stay right there, and it was just throughout the whole day. And that was what I did. I kept that voice. Anybody who talked to me knew that they were going to talk to Quan Chi that day. It was like, but that would be Quan Chi as me. I'm not those actors that stay in that character in lunchtime. And no, I was still me, but I was just maintaining that that lower register.
To keep the vocal range at that level.
Yep, that's it. Yeah. So I cut in and out of character, and I'm always I like a fun set, and cracking jokes and all that. So,
what parts of yourself did you kind of bring into this character?
Oh man, I can't even go into some of the parts that I went into. It's too personal. But like I said, it came natural. I didn't really have to think about it, but it gave me the opportunity to play in every realm of me. Like I said, the emotional range was everywhere. I mean, you can imagine, I don't know if you guys remember in one episode where I come in and the girls were fighting or something and I stopped them with something. And then I said, I grabbed, of course, I think it was Jamie Presley, yeah. And I took
Mika.
I took Mika and Mika, come here or something. And I grabbed her and we just went back. And I mean, in my mind, what did we do when we went back into the deeper part of the dungeon? So I had all these things, and it was great, man. It was my world was created incredibly, the sensuality, the sexual, everything was in this guy because of the Playboy bunnies added a lot for me. We can go to a lot of places there.
I was going to ask you how it was working with your personal assassins, but it's clear it was awesome.
I mean, we hung out, it was great. Jamie Presley's hilarious. She's such a strong personality. She's, she was really young at the time. And I just knew what a really great actress she was because she could put on a character. She had just done that, that TV show where they have all those like people on, whatever, I forget.
I'm trying to remember which one.
Yeah, but she went into her Southern character like that, telling me about this character. And I was like, she can turn it on and off.
Was that My Name is Earl?
No. Oh, she was on My Name, but this is before. She did the first thing she did.
Yeah, that was way later.
Movie.
Sorry, yeah.
I think this guy's still on. And they always chant his name when they have on, pregnant mothers with,
Jerry Springer.
Springer. That's it. She did the Jerry Springer movie. That's right. She played, the same kind of character she did in My Name is Earl. She did her movie and then got My Name is Earl. She did the movie, did Mortal Kombat, and then she did things and then got that. Yeah. So anyway, we used to get together all the time. And like I said, we'd have dinner. I had the car. They gave me a car to drive around. So I'd drive them around. They were always, just having a great time. But Jamie always was the director. She wanted to control, where we were going. And you couldn't stop her. He was like I don't know. We would laugh so hard. She'd go this way. We're like, no, I think we got to go this way, Jim. No, we're going to Warner Lot. And I said, no, I think we're going to go left. No, go right. I promise you, go right. Every time she got us lost. Every time we got lost. And Renee's laughing.
Are you still in touch with any of them?
No, I was, soon after that, I was in touch, with Renee quite a bit. But no, Jamie, she took off, I think, from that point on. Jamie really took off. Yeah, it's one of those things. Like, actually hooked up with Daniel Bernhardt quite a few times after that. Okay. And then we had a big dinner. I remember everyone was invited one time. And I haven't seen Paolo, I don't think. Cristana. Cristana was fantastic. Just a sweet person. Me and Jeff Meek. Jeff Meek, I'm a basketball player, and Jeff was a great basketball player. He went to college to play basketball. I forget where, but a big school, I remember. And we used to play basketball, pick up teams, and would always win. He was a great player. But I haven't stayed in touch with Jeff. I called him maybe once or twice. So typically, you do a movie, you make friends, and it's like this corporation that dissolves. And you maybe hang on a few people, and every once in a while, give them a call.
I imagine your behind the scenes thing is you're driving around with your harem of Playboy bunnies and then kind of hanging out with everybody else. They're sitting on the sidelines while you're playing basketball with Raiden.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that didn't actually happen, but that would have been cool. But they'd have been our cheerleaders, right? That would have been great. Give me a Q. Give me a U. Hey, give me that. Give me a T. What's it spell? Quan Chi. What's it spell? Quan Chi. That's funny.
But so you're not really in touch with anybody then? I mean, because we had Jeff Meek on recently, and it was great to talk to. And we actually also had Chris Casamassa, who played Scorpion in the show as well.
Yeah, I never met Chris. I've heard a lot great things about Chris. I feel like we're going to run into each other one of these days because he seems like every time I'm doing some sort of interview, he had just done it or he's going to do it. And
oh no, we didn't want to make you feel that way.
No, it's fine. But actually, my favorite person to act with, and I couldn't wait to do it, was Jeff Meek. Jeff was, man, I mean, it was incredible to have that scene with him when I'm on the steps of his, right below him on his throne, and we're talking about, coming together, and I remember saying something like, "We could together. And he goes, yes. And we start laughing. I just love that. That's like one of my favorite. And Jeff was such a great actor, just a great actor. I hope he mentioned me in his interview. He'd bring me up.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to kick his butt and give him a call.
No, actually, to be fair, he mentioned a lot of people on the episode just saying how he loved working with everyone and how it was a great cast to work with.
Especially, right? And he said, especially Adoni. He even had that Greek accent. He said Adoni, right? He said it.
Do you have, I know you're very athletic, but do you have any form of background in martial arts?
Well, I do. I have a little bit of everything. I used to have I took a few classes here and there, but everything for me, like everything I do is basically on my own. It's just the way I am. I delve into it and I compete or I do whatever. And I don't know if you guys know this. I was a ping pong national champion. I started when I was age 43, and by age 43, I started playing kind of seriously, but not tournaments. And then in 5 years, I became a national champion. So that's me. So when I did Mortal Kombat, people used to always think that I did my own stunts and things. And no, that obviously we did not. I had one of the greatest. I forget the guy's name. I feel bad, but it's on IMDb. You can look it up. But the guy was an amazing stunt. He was amazing. He's like a gold medalist in the Olympics for like Kung Fu or karate. I forget what it was.
He had a very interesting style. Yeah.
Yeah, he was amazing. And people used to tell me, they'd say, man, Adoni, when you're Quan Chi and you get mad and you're fighting, your ears stick out. That's amazing. I'm thinking, those aren't my ears,
So most of your fight scenes, I'm assuming they just kind of cut you in when they needed close-up shots. Is that right?
Yeah. I think the first episode to me, it was like, oh God, because I was kind of greenish tone in that first episode, at least the way I see it. And he was more white, and they would cut in from me to him. And the truth is, I had no idea what this was about. I had never seen anything. I've never seen the game. I've never, so I didn't realize the intensity of the flips and all that and the workout. So when you see me cutting in, it's like I'm completely not sweating. I'm like this guy, and so I was like, oh my God, I wish they didn't do that. Just show him, dude. You don't need any close-ups of me. Just do his stuff. Show him do his thing. Honest to God, guys, that was the one part I just didn't know, and I felt bad about because he did such a great job, such a great job. I think the only people that really did, obviously Paulo learned as he went along. I think he got better and better, did some of his stunts. And,
you could see him improving.
Daniel Bernhardt was a guy did his own, and Dana He did her own. Those guys are martial artists. I don't know about Jeff, but did Jeff tell you he did his own things? I have no idea if he did.
Yeah, well, I think he had a stuntman too, but he did a lot of his own things at the same time. Yeah,
because he had a sort of episode where he was sort of taking on himself, so he definitely had to have a stunt double for that one.
I've always been that guy who does, because I'm very athletic. I used to do the Wild West stunt show at Universal Studios. I love crashing. I did the high falls. I did all those things. So I always do my own stunts until I can't. Until I have to where it's not good for the show, because I might get hurt or something really dangerous. So with this though, there's no way I can do the things that this guy can do. And so I don't recall doing much except the close-ups, like throwing a punch here and there. They did everything, choreographed everything on their own.
I don't blame you.
It wasn't even my decision. They did everything, and they said, we just need you to do close-ups coming in and out. So I would have done things. I could always do spin kicks, and I can do some things. I had a big bag that I'd practice on, and I loved doing that stuff. But they had already done all of it. They'd done everything, and I guess I didn't tell them. They didn't realize that I could do a lot of those things, but not to the level that guy could. No way.
There's a scene where you're fighting Kung Lao, and your stunt double does the splits in attacking him. And you just shattered me, because I was really hoping that was you.
It's funny. Like I have bow legs, and I'm pretty I have bow arms and bow legs. So I don't know if my legs could ever possibly. There are parts of my body that will never ever hit the ground. Never ever. Parts of my arm have never hit the ground. It's like, no way, that'll never touch the ground.
That's one scene I have in my head where you're fighting Shang Tsung, and you're doing a handstand, and you're actually kicking him. Like fighting him, kicking him, doing a handstand. Oh yeah, and it's such a great scene.
I did that stuff. That was the easy stuff. I did that. Yeah, that was me. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So your costume design for the series, did they make that from scratch for you for this?
Actually,
for the show?
I created it myself. No, I don't know how they did it. And actually, these cost people who contact me, they say, "What did you wear for this?" And what? And like, they remember things I don't remember, but they definitely made it from scratch. From what I know, everything was created for to fit me, obviously, and all that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know where else they would have gotten it. I don't think there was ever any Quan Chi outfit out there before, right? I mean, that was
No, it looked similar, I guess, to his first game appearance, which was, I guess, the year before.
Oh, yeah.
So it was a pretty good take on it. I thought it looked great.
Yeah, when I look at Quan Chi now, I notice that they have this red symbols on his head. Like, I don't like. I mean, obviously, I play the character and I see myself as him. So it always bothers me when I see Quan Chi with like red marks on his head or whatever. I don't know what that is. I like the old school Quan Chi.
Yeah, they've taken him full on NetherRealm style, so that's why they've had all these runes and stuff like tattoos to him.
Do you ever go back and rewatch the old episodes just to kind of see yourself in it?
Rarely. I do it. Let's say if I'm cutting a new acting reel, I'll be looking for stuff. But I keep using. I've seen my website. I kind of use the same scene with the slave girl. It was like one of the first scenes in the first episode.
I was happy to see that picture on the website, actually.
Yeah, I'm telling you guys, Quan Chi is my favorite character involved. I wish I can still be playing him. And when I did that first season, I remember one of the actors came up in another, and they said, "You know what? They're talking about doing a Mortal Kombat 3 movie, and they have you as the lead villain." And I was like, "Really?" And then they called me in. I had a meeting with producers and the director that they're going to have, and I read the script, and it was Quan Chi, and they're talking to me about it. I was like, "Wow, this is going to be great. I'm going to do Mortal Kombat 3." And then they talked about she told me she's one of the actresses said talking about a new series with Quan Chi as the guy, and I was like, wow. And I know, I'm sure part of it was the Playboy bunnies, you know what I mean? The slaves coming in. That made a great series, So, but I was so looking forward to all that. And from what I understand, I heard because of the Columbine shootings, they blamed Mortal Kombat. And so that kind of stifled everything.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I know Jeffrey has a different take on that. He said it was something else, but I think it was a combination.
I feel it was a combination.
But,
yeah,
but it was a great. It did really well, I thought, in ratings and all that. And and it goes to show, like, to me, the fans from that time, the younger generation, you guys, I'm sure, are pretty young, right? Maybe in your 30s or something. I don't know. But it's really, for 1 year, it had an impact, in some way, But plus the game, obviously the game, that people fell in love with, and then the show and all that. So
what could you tell us about the third movie?
You know what? I honestly, what I remember is Quan Chi was the villain, and they wanted me to play it, and I was so looking forward to that, and that's all I can tell you. I don't remember much about it, but it's just like, imagine Quan Chi as the villain in the movie.
That's actually such a shame. That would have been amazing to see. Firstly, to see you return as Quan Chi, and secondly, to have Quan Chi as the big bad.
And then also, Jeff had stated on the last the interview we had with him that he was going to be playing Shao Kahn in that movie.
Yeah. So they had us lined up, and I was like, wow, this is going to be great, And so I don't know. I don't remember specific. Did he tell you anything? I don't know. Maybe if he told you something about the movie, he remembers. Maybe I'll remember a little bit of it. But
we'll have to call him up again and ask him, because he didn't have too much information. I don't even know if he got a script read from it like you did.
We might have to get you guys on and see if you can figure out what was happening, and then you can also give him crap for not remembering you or saying your name specifically.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But we should have an interview as he could be both Shao Kahn and Raiden. I'll be Quan Chi. We'll have this great interview. That'd be fun.
Did you have any favorite episodes, or out of your episodes, what were your favorites?
Well, I'll tell you, obviously the second episode was my most hated because they brought me down, and it was the one where I was, dressed as the monk, and that bothered me. But I had to raise in ADR in the voiceover, so that to me is not even considered. The two episodes that are the first episode is what established my character and the story leading up to it, how I got the character, all that stuff. But the scene with Jeff Meek is my favorite because connecting with Jeff was so powerful. My favorite episode would be the first one, but my favorite scene is the Jeff Meek scene.
It's a great choice.
Cool. Yeah.
That set was so fun. Paulo was the sweetest guy. Me and Daniel hit it off. I remember when Daniel had to do Quan Chi, we switched roles, right? I became him, he became me in a sense. And I was teaching him. He goes, "How do you do that thing?" And I go, he kept practicing. I go, no, it's not a, it's a, it's like, okay, we had to practice that for a while.
I was just going to say, I'm so glad you're making these noises, because when I think of your Quan Chi, that's the first sound I hear in my head.
I think I overdid it in the whatever episode it was. I think I did too many.
I disagree. You didn't overdo it at all.
It was so much fun with that. I was like, no, good grief. I gave too many
Was your recordings, were they actually during the MGM studio tours also?
Let's see. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were. Why do you ask that?
I was just curious. Jeff had mentioned how it was kind of distracting because there'd be people above you and making noise and walking around during some of the recordings for his set, and I was curious if you were in that same.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't remember that, but I just remember it was the everything was on. It was like the studio was running, everything was happening, and but I don't remember specifically people coming on the set. Wait, no, I do. I remember. You're right. I do. I remember women asking me. I remember women ask me if I'm white all over, when I take the costume off. I remember that. Like, are you white? Like completely white? Wear that? And I remember it being, was it Halloween when we were filming? And I remember people saying, "Oh, you have the best Halloween costume." I was like, "Man, it'd be so fun to
go trick or treating."
Mind if I have 2 Reese's cups? You mind? Oh man!
In the TV series, they killed off your character, but I mean, any Mortal Kombat fan knows that Quan Chi comes back. Did they tell you if they were going to reintroduce you for season 2, or how they were planning on doing that?
Oh, what I learned was I don't know if they did that episode because of what happened. They had to cancel the series, and the Columbine. I think that's how I kind of remember it. I don't know, but again, I was told that they were going to bring back another series with Quan Chi as kind of the main guy. Now, I don't know if that means that I would be a main guy with Shao Kahn and Jeff Meek and Ray. Like, I don't know how these things work, but that's what I was told. So they were planning to bring back another episode, and that came from someone in the know who was more connected with the bigger boys, than I was at that time. So yeah, did I answer your question?
Yeah,
more or less. But there were no details though for you at that point, were there?
No, I just remember it was like me and the slaves were going to be like, I don't know. I imagine it as me being the villain, like the main sort of villain of the season. So that's all I knew, and everything else, I have no idea.
It really seemed like they were bigging you up to have a lot more of a bigger role on the next season for sure.
Oh yeah. That's what was told to me, and then they proved that as well with the movie. Give me the script. I wonder if I still have the script. Like, I have to have it somewhere here. I should look for it.
I really hope you do.
Yeah. I would. I have to have it. I just know that because we didn't have internet at that time. Unless I had to give it back. But the truth is, knowing me, I would not have given it back. I don't think I would. I did that with a movie called Hidalgo, starring Viggo Mortensen and Omar.
Oh, yeah.
I read the script. They give it to me and they say, you have to bring this back. And I never did. And I told the director when he brought me in his office, he says, well, we're thinking of you for this, character, the Falcon Man and blah, blah, blah. He says, what'd you think of the script? I said, well, let me tell you. Tell me what I think about the script. I said, I still have it. And it says, must return, or, 3-year jail sentence.
Worth it.
He started laughing. I said, yeah, because it reminds me because I wrote a script with my father, and it was like the closest thing to it. And I was like, oh my God, this is a great story. And then he says, well, we have a different script. It's got more humor in it. And they gave me another. Anyway, that's another movie. But,
we don't mind.
Yeah,
so we like hearing about this sort of stuff.
I'm kind of like a rule breaker. I'm a pretty much a square in a sense. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, I don't do that. But, when it comes to my passion, I want that script.
You're going to have to definitely tell us if you do find that MK3 script.
Yeah. I got a stack of scripts, so I have to find it. I hope I do, man. It'd be great. Maybe go take a look at it again and say, hey, you know what? Let's do this. I can't believe they have not made a Mortal Kombat 3, right? Unless you guys know something I haven't.
Well, they were going to, but the second movie was not really received well.
Yeah.
And we actually have a new remake coming up next year, apparently.
Wow. Okay.
So we're still waiting. We actually should be getting some news, hopefully, in the next month or so, I think.
Yeah, because release date's set for January right now, I believe.
Well, I hope that you guys can band together and start pushing for your favorite Quan Chi, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. We're starting an online petition.
I would love to see the full Conquest cast return. Honestly, you guys were amazing.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Thanks. I'm amazed that you guys are still you just started this thing. I mean, that show was 1998, I believe, or 99. And I think that's 20.
To be fair, Yanni watches Conquest every day. So
I watched Conquest so many times during uni because firstly, I love the show, but it also helped me get to sleep because I just really enjoyed watching it. It was so chill.
I love that.
I've seen it more times than I can count.
It helps you go to sleep. That's hilarious. Usually things that I do don't help people go to sleep. It helps them not to sleep. They can't sleep after watching something I'm in. That's hilarious.
No, but really, we loved the series. And I mean, as I said, I've watched it countless times. So we would love to see all of you return to the role in some form. I mean, you would obviously love to come back from what it sounds like. So.
Oh my God, yeah. I remember I was at Disneyland in Los Angeles. My family had come over, and I was on the series 24. I was the lead villain of season 6. I was Abu Fayed, the middle character. And it was a cold day, and I'm, we're walking around doing things, and whatever. I'm not recognizable. I'm wearing a tassel cap, and like a winter jacket in California. It was so cold, and I'm wearing sunglasses and a scarf. And anyway, we all go to the bathroom, and I'm waiting for my family to come out of the bathroom. And this little cute black boy comes walking up to me, like 5 years old, and he goes, "Are you the guy on 24?" And I went, "Oh my God!" I said, "You recognize me?" And his dad. It was like sitting like 20 feet. He goes, "My son recognizes everybody wherever he goes." I said, "You got to be kidding me. I'm wearing sunglasses and a big, thick jacket." I'm thinking, what is this kid doing watching 24? He's a 4-year-old kid. What the heck? I didn't say that, but I'm thinking, oh my God, but that was amazing. This kid recognized me.
That's so amazing. Oh, that's great. to be fair, a lot of MK fans were actually playing and watching MK from a very young age, including myself.
Oh, okay. That's great. Well, I've never played the game. I've seen like 1 or 2 kids play it.
It might be interesting for you to know. I mean, I've always had this opinion. I don't know if I can say that is the case, but I've always felt like later in the games, Quan Chi's sort of fighting style was actually, in my opinion, influenced by your Quan Chi and Conquest.
You mean my somersaults and splits
yours,
and all the stuff?
Yes, all those. I just find it very interesting that you were never really into the games, but you might have had such an influence on them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think it's all great. I think it's fantastic. And I wish that I would have had more influence or the character from what I did on the character's look as well. But, things change and things develop. And now Quan Chi has a completely different look. Does he still have the red
the tattoo sort of thing?
Tattoo sort of thing on his head?
Yeah. He has a couple of different looks. I'm actually pretty sure that one of his looks doesn't have it. So that you might be happy to hear that.
Yeah. Because I was looking for a Quan Chi doll, and I remember looking up all these dolls, and I said, "Oh no, if this one didn't have the red tattoo on his head, it'd be great or whatever."
Have you kept up with the character at all and what they've done with him, or besides his appearance, have you seen him in any other media like the cartoons and stuff they've produced?
I've seen a few cartoons. I have a few videos because I remember when I was ordering it and trying to find like my episodes, I couldn't find the right things. I thought it would be it, but I remember getting all these other different things. So I've seen a few things. I've looked it up. Checked out.
I don't know if you ever saw Mortal Kombat Legacy. There was another actor that portrayed a Quan Chi, and it was, I thought myself, it was very different from yours. But I'm curious, did you see that at all?
No, but I've been told that some people, the interviews I've done, they tell me how there's a couple of really good Quan Chi guys out there, and there's like a specific one guy like has done it more than anybody, I think. And I'm still, these guys, give me the names and numbers, and if you have an address, I want to go there because I got to wipe them out. So
Richard Divisio, go get him.
No, I really haven't followed any of it, and I don't know what what this guy does differently than me or whatever, and I'm sure people love him for whatever he does, and to me, as long as he's engrossed and lives the character as best he can, I'm sure he's going to be great at it, and not trying to imitate exactly anybody else, just do his thing. Sure, he's great.
How did you feel when you found out that season 2 or that the series was canceled and season 2 wasn't going to get produced?
I was a little bit bummed, I'm telling you, because I really wanted to play this character. Like, I could have played him forever. I think it's one of those characters that, because you have the freedom to, like, I don't, like, I can decide, this character, he can get emotional at any time. He can get loud and angry, or he can bring it down and do his, it's like, there's nothing, he couldn't do. I can play. I had a full playground to play with this guy, and I'm reminded of that time I got to make love to Mika, when I was, like that sort of thing. It's like, I can.
It's so interesting to hear the Mortal Kombat Conquest cast talk about these old characters, because these are all characters that were kind of established, but you guys still made them your own and were still, kind of acted as they were originally set, but they were your characters. And I love hearing how much of a fondness you have for the characters that you helped create.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, I feel bad. I'm sure there are a lot of people that can't stand me as Quan Chi. I'm sure, because they played the character a certain way, and none of the, there wasn't a character in the game that probably went, that probably never happened, or whatever, or laugh the way I did. I remember, it's like, I'm sure people were like, Quan Chi wouldn't do that. Whatever. I don't know. But yeah, I gave it everything I had, and I loved it.
If I can honestly say, from all my experiences on groups and stuff, I have never seen a negative word about your Quan Chi. So,
well, thanks. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. I just created him, so I had no idea.
But it's so nice to hear. Like, I mean, Jeff Meek said the same thing. He would have played Raiden forever, basically, and it's amazing to hear how into the characters you all were. Even as you said, despite not playing the games and stuff, it's really beautiful to hear that. We're very. I mean, I think I can speak for Phantom as well. It's really awesome to hear that. We're very happy. Oh yeah, no. I'm telling you, this is my favorite character of all time. This is not because I had so much fun with this character. And of course the people, when you meet Paulo Montalban, the classiest guy you're ever going to meet, Daniel Bernal was great. Cristana was the sweetest girl. Tracy, Douglas, oh my God. Bruce was like, everybody was so great. It was just, Jeff. Like a whole family all together.
Yeah. It was like a family. Huh. Exactly.
I mean, you obviously love Quan Chi. How did you feel about his demise in the final episode?
Oh, I didn't like it. As far as I was concerned, like you said, I always looked at it like, well, I'm in the nether realm. I'm between living and dead, right? That's Quan Chi,
exactly.
Right? So if I die, big deal. I could come back in some way, some form, right?
I'm so happy to hear this.
I never thought it as me being dead. I thought they left it open, obviously. I mean, come on. You watch like 24, for instance, they brought the same character back 3 times. And other soap operas, I have a friend who's been dead 7 times. He's brought back to life. Come on. Mortal Kombat? Are you kidding me? Come on. We're dead as it is. We're already dead,
I was talking to Phantom actually about your death scene, and it's something about the series, but I just loved it because on one hand it's like, okay, everybody's dying, this is so intense. On the other, your death scene was almost comical because you sort of flip onto this rock, and then the Shadow Priest has this effect where he sort of transports you into the rock. And my favorite is just your reaction. It's just Cobalt.
Exactly. It's funny, you reminded me, because I just remember being in a rock. I forgot how I got into the rock. But yeah, I remember being in a rock. It's like, I think I probably did my one last probably did, right? One last dying.
I'm so glad we have all these hers on this episode, by the way.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to make a super cut of all of them.
That's right.
It's actually funny because
right.
Quan Chi, outside of Conquest, there's a bit of a meme behind him in that he's known for saying "Wule."
Wule, really? Wule?
Yeah, because in the games they gave these characters sort of, like Raiden when he's doing the sort of Superman is, like loads of gibberish. And Quan Chi has this thing where he says "Wule," which has become this sort of running joke with Quan Chi. And I love that in Conquest you have your anyway.
Wow, that's great. Did he have the Wule back when I did him?
No, this was after.
Oh, okay. That'd have been something that might have been important.
No. This was after. Maybe you inspired the Wule.
Yeah, that's great, man. Yeah, those little things, those little nuanced characteristics of any character, because we all have certain things we do. We might not realize it, but it's kind of like Al Pacino in when he played that blind character. I forget what it's called, and he'd always say, "Hoo-ah,"
Yeah.
Hoo-ah. Yeah, so those little things they kind of add.
Yeah, they really do. So overall, what was your opinion on the show itself? Looking back on it, like having gone through the experience of acting in it, watching it, what did you think of the show itself?
I really enjoyed it. It was, I really was amazed. I don't know if shows before had this sort of encyclopedia of history to a show the way Mortal Kombat did. I was amazed that people actually understood the whole, the whole realm. Like you did, right? Probably you started learning it early as a kid, but I was amazed at like this whole, even though it was kind of, people were somewhat dead, not quite dead, and whatever, and in and out of whatever. But there was a rhyme and reason for it, however it was, and I thought it was fantastic. But it takes, like anything, like Jeff Meek's character, what a talent he is, playing both Shao Kahn and Raiden. And, if he doesn't pull that off, that show to me doesn't work. Paulo Montalban being the main, the hero in a sense, these characters got to be so into their roles and passionate. And I just thought everything was brought into that show. That made it great. I never thought I would like a show like that. It's just not my thing at all, right? I'm not a guy that is into that stuff, but I really, I love the show. I enjoyed watching it. I enjoyed watching the episodes and seeing all these characters. It's one of those shows you can do whatever you want with. You can create characters from not a doomsday, and you always have more to do. You always have more things you can bring to it and create, Yeah. I like things that aren't, like, I can't stand soap operas because they're the same thing over and over again. It's like the same talking heads. And this was completely opposite of that. It's like you go to the other realm, joy. Everything about Mortal Kombat was, when I think about it, was just fun and joyous, and I think the people in there gave it all, and we're like a big family, And I only did 4 episodes. Those guys were there for 22, so Jeff got to meet a lot more people than I did. But I would love to create this guy again. I hope somehow, some way. That's why I keep doing him. I go home for Christmas and my niece puts me in that, and I do these little skits.
Definitely gonna have to check those skits out for sure.
Watch a few of them on my YouTube channel. So they're fun. Fun little things.
So outside of Mortal Kombat, we kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but you are a ping pong champion. You won, what was the National Hardbat Championship?
Yeah, well, I won the national, national and U.S. Open Hardbat Championships and sandpaper as well. Yeah. I went to the World Championships for sandpaper in England. Yeah, so I went there 2 years. Yeah, and I started very late. I played as a little kid just in my house with my brothers, but then I picked it up 25 years later because I was kind of down and out and needed some joy in my life after doing all these big movies and things, and nothing was happening. So I had to bring ping pong to my life, and as soon as I did, I got 24. It was my biggest thing I've ever done. And then,
I find it incredible that you picked it up again way later than you used to play as a kid, then you stopped for ages. And then once you pick it up within a few years, you're champion. You're going to championships. And it's amazing.
I've always been an athlete first. And it's weird because, I don't know if you guys know this, I'm a type 1 diabetic, and I wasn't supposed to live. I was supposed to be, I became a type 1 diabetic at 18 months old. That was like the youngest they'd ever seen.
Oh, wow.
And I wasn't given much chance to live very long. And I was supposed to be weak, thick, been sick and out of hospitals, in and out of hospitals my whole life, and dead for sure by age 25. It was like a given.
Whoa.
And so for whatever reason, I don't know why, but I became this sort of freak of nature, like an athlete with strength. And like I was an arm wrestling champion. I beat a guy in arm wrestling one time. He was a champion. He weighed 450 pounds. And like I beat him, and I was 171 pounds, but I was a solid rock, and I was like that sort of thing. So I've always taken on the giants, like facing the giants, like so that's me. So I got into ping pong. My first tournament, I go play a guy that was my hero. He was a 5-time national champ, the greatest ping pong player in our country, over the years. And I beat him like in this game of ping pong. And people were watching like, who the hell is this guy? An actor known for 24. And then I played another guy who was considered, I'm not going to mention these names, but the guy was considered maybe the greatest ping pong player who ever lived. And I beat him. And it was like, people were like, wait a second, this guy's never played like a tournament. He comes in. But that's me. That's what I've done my whole life is, I can do things like with a ball and just, athleticism and strength. So yeah, it was weird. I believe I've been helped along the way. Maybe there's either I have God, angels, spirit guides, or maybe there's a Quan Chi up there giving me certain.
I was going to say, you clearly proved your doctors wrong. It's really amazing to see how far you took your training and everything.
And now you're in like your 40s or 50s, right? And you're still in incredible shape.
Yeah, I'm 56. I'll be 57 July 20th coming up. So yeah, I still do the same things. Yeah, I still work out. I still do my crazy workouts. You can see that online too. And
I did want to ask you about that actually, because I watched one of your workout videos, and you were in one of them. You were climbing up a swing, and it's so creative. Like, did you figure this out on your own? How did it work? How did it come about?
Yeah. Well, I think I went. If you go to Muscle Beach down in Venice, I've seen people do that on rope, and I don't have a rope, so I just start climbing the pole. I was like, what the hell? Let me climb the pole. So, that's what I mean. I love creating. You saw me doing push-ups with a kid on my shoulders, right? It's like it's like I don't go to a gym. People that look at me say, "Oh, you must go to and spend 7 hours at the gym." Like, no, I work out, an hour and a half. It used to be an hour a day, like twice a week. But I also ride the bike. I play ping pong. I do other things. But my workouts, I don't even go to a gym. And I try to tell people all the time, you don't need to go to a gym. Now I know people who run gyms all over the world hate me because they're like, but yeah, you can do everything at home. You can create a workout.
Yeah, no, I'm with you for sure. And it's nice to see, like, you are the perfect example of the fact that you don't need the gym.
Yeah. Like when I go to the park, I feel like I'm thinking, let me show you who the real Spider-Man is, I'll show, or it's funny. I remember doing that workout years ago, and these little kids are like, "Are you Jean-Claude Van Damme?" And I said, no. I said, we're similar physique-wise. I said, I think I'm a little taller than he. And they said, "You're Jean-Claude Van Damme." I said, "No, I'm not. But I mean, I thank you for that. You're Jean-Claude. You have an accent." I go, "I don't have an accent." "Yes, you do." I'm like, and it's so funny. I go, "Okay, I'm Jean-Claude. You want me to sign my name to your thing?" Yeah. So I signed Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I would have made you do the splits if I were there.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. So then I remember going to McDonald's. I was starving. My blood sugars were low, being a diabetic. And I went, and this girl there, she goes, "You're Jean-Claude Van Damme." I said, "That's hilarious." I said, I was just over the park a week ago, and these kids thought I was Jean-Claude. And she goes, "You're Jean-Claude. I see you riding around with your Camaro or whatever it was." And I said, "No, I know I look like him, but but I'm a little more exotic, darker, and all." And she goes, "You're Jean-Claude. You have an accent." I said, I don't have an accent." She goes, "Yes, you do." I said, "I don't." I said, "I'm Greek, but I'm not. I do not have an accent." I swear to God. She goes, "Yes, you are." And she kept coming at me. And I said, "Okay,
you
here,
got me.
I'm going to sign my thing with you again. Here you go. I'm Jean-Claude."
I mean, do you have any words of encouragement for those aspiring to be professional athletes, or especially those with like health conditions?
You know what? Well, here's the first thing. I'm really a very spiritual person. I'm all about love and light, believe it or not. I know playing these characters that I play, I'm always the villain. I'm of the dark. I'm the man in black and all that. But I'm really all about light and love and lifting people up and raising, hopefully lifting the world up to a better place before I leave it. Okay. So I love inspiring people. I love people that reach out to me and say, "Oh, your story has touched me and has elevated me," and all that. And for me, I live by 3 words. And this is, I believe, the reason why I've survived the way I have. And sometimes it gets tough during pandemics or, when you're by yourself, like right now I'm in my house and by myself. I have no family around. I can't be with my family. I can't even travel to them. But the reason I believe I have survived during this time, again, with the help of God, angels, and probably Quan Chi's and things like that, but, is 3 words. And it's because I don't know how I have survived when everyone else has not in the studies that I've been in, but it's enveloping, surrounding yourself with love and laughter. You got to bring laughter to your life, and fitness. So it's love, laughter, and fitness. If you have that in your life, I think that's the main thing, that you have to have. Envelop yourself with good people that lift you up, people that are supporting you. And that could be hard sometimes if you come from a bad family or that, but find those people that encourage you and don't put you down, things like that. And just, be in an environment of love. Laughter is key. I used to bring laughter to my family all the time. I realized that laughter made me feel good, made them feel good. I'd make my brothers laugh and my family laugh. Every day I'd put on shows, impersonations. I would do anything, dance, sing, whatever, impersonate Johnny Carson and all the characters of that time. That's how I got into acting, because I was a silly, goofy guy, who happened to be this extraordinary athlete who's a type 1 diabetic. So, but love, laughter, and fitness. Fitness is a huge part of it. Our bodies are meant to move. Our bodies are meant to, just like even with the coronavirus, they say those people, people die when they go to the hospital because they're sedentary. They're in that bed, and they don't move and they don't breathe. You got to breathe. You got to move your body. And if you can do that, you have a better chance of overcoming that. And that happened with people with heart issues. Back in the day, they would do a heart surgery and leave the patient in the room for 2 weeks, and he would die most of the time or be worse off than he was. And now they realize you got to get him out of that bed. You got to get him moving. And I've known that my whole life. Even when I'm sick, I try to get my blood moving. I try to ride my indoor bike a little bit or just move a little bit. You got to get your blood moving. Our bodies are meant to move. Our legs are meant to walk, meant to run. Any doctor who says, don't run, it's bad for your legs. It's like, no, you take it to where you can. You slowly build up. You got to keep moving or you will lose it. If you don't use it, you lose it. So I think movement is key, and especially if you're a type 1 diabetic, especially when you got sugar issues. And doctors have always been surprised by me. Like, I don't understand how you have done it, even if you're, for whatever reason, it appears like you're going to be in horrible shape. The things I've eaten or things I've done, but it's the love, laughter, and fitness. So there you have it. I want to spread love, laughter, and fitness, regardless if I'm myself or Quan Chi.
Amazing.
That's beautiful. Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
that.
You're welcome.
So, with the opportunity to kind of go into ping pong and stuff, how actually did you get involved with acting? How did that all come about for you?
That was, I graduated from college with a BA degree, business, business science administration. What the hell is it called? I don't know. It's a business degree. Yeah, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. That's what it is. And I graduated near the top of my class, magna cum laude, but I knew that I wouldn't be in the business. I just knew it wasn't, again, it's too sedentary to me as suit and tie. I'm not a suit and tie guy. It was sitting at a desk, like that sort of thing, or whatever it was. I couldn't see me doing it. So my dad said, he sat me down at dinner and he says, what do you want to do with your life? I said, I don't know. I had a girlfriend at the time who lived in Florida. I had a condominium. I thought I'd go down there. I thought I'd be a professional athlete in something because I was always, just great at sports. And I still thought that would be it. And my dad says, well, why don't you try acting? And I said, what? He goes, yeah, you're always performing for us. You're always making us laugh. And you're always saying you can do it. Why don't you go do it? He says, I can see your 2 brothers going to work every day wearing a suit and tie, but I think it would choke you to death. I said, you're right. He says, why don't you try it? So there you go.
Yeah.
It was, that's how it all started. My dad.
That's great. It's nice that it pushed you into this sort of thing where, look how your life has evolved since, So it's crazy.
Yeah. It's an amazing ride. I suggest acting for everybody because if nothing else, it'll open up your heart, open up your soul. It'll help you understand the plights of people all over the world, whether or not they're from another realm or in their own realm. But it does.
Since Conquest, you've had some roles in pretty prominent movies and shows like Scorpion King, Troy, Hidalgo, as you mentioned earlier, 24, and you even got awarded Best Supporting Actor for Lazarus Rising. So a bit late, but congratulations.
Thanks.
On top of that, you even played a guy with my name in Dream of the Shadow, Yanni.
Yeah.
Which would you say your favorite roles were?
Well, for me, the best movie, the biggest movie, wasn't the biggest. Troy was the biggest, but the best movie was Hidalgo for me. It was an incredible. I lived it. I almost died just like I almost died on 24. I got hanged, by the chain that Jack Bauer, because I ended up in the hospital. Anyway, these are longer stories, but Hidalgo, I lived the part, and it was an amazing experience working with Viggo Mortensen. Viggo is just a beautiful spirit. He was always for. He never he would let 300 extras eat lunch before we did. He's that kind of guy. He would never cut line, and just a great guy to work with, and he's a great actor, and working with him as an actor was great. But just spending time with a guy with that spirit, like a beautiful heart and all that I learned more from that than anything. But one of the greatest compliments I ever received was a nurse who was actually staying with me because I was so sick in Morocco, and my horse had broke free at like 3:00 in the morning, and Viggo noticed it because he was out living near the horses. That's where he was staying, and he went out chasing my horse, trying to catch my horse. And my nurse and everybody on the radio were talking, and they were upset, and my nurse was upset at him. She goes, the only reason he's doing that is because she said, he's trying to be like you, Adoni, trying to be the nicest guy. And I said, whoa. I said, man, that's the greatest compliment you'll ever tell me. I said, I try to be nice to everybody. I respect everybody, whether they're extras, producers, it doesn't matter. To me, you're a human being. I'll talk to you. I'll sit with you. I'll eat with you. It's all great. And I said, but man, I know Viggo, and he's the sweetest guy who you will ever meet, ever. I mean, he's that kind of guy. He's just so helpful. And so I was like, oh my God. And that was the greatest compliment I ever received, because she was telling me that I'm as sweet and nice as Viggo. I was like, oh my God, that was great. Which reminds me, I'm going to tell you a little story. The first day I arrived on set at the Mortal Kombat set, first day I get off the plane, Renee takes me to the set, and I meet, whoever was there. And I start talking to these extras. There were like 3 extras I was talking to. And they were saying, oh, Donnie, you're so nice. I was like, whatever. You guys are nice too, whatever we're talking. And then they said lunch. So they start walking towards lunch. So I start walking with them. They go, Donnie, no. You don't go with us. You get the good food over there. It's on the other side. I said, no, I'm with you guys. No, with it, the good, I'm telling you, your place is over there. I said, guys, it's great. And I said, we're hanging out. We're having a good time. I'm going to have lunch with you. Now, behind us is I call her the Wrangler. She was a woman who wrangles the extras. She's like, hurry up. I'm surprised she didn't have a whip in her hand. She's like, hurry up. Get your butts moving. You got to eat lunch. You got a half hour. Get in there. And I'm last, right, behind these guys. And these guys are looking back. And I says, okay, we're going, Now, as soon as we get to the lunch area, this tented area, I have to check my blood sugars. I have to get my shot. So it takes me a while, right? So and then I get to eat. And this lady's like, hurry up. You got 15 minutes. I said, okay, cool. And these guys are like, the women guys there, and they knew that I was Quan Chi. They're like, oh God, they're like, and so on her walkie-talkie, she hears, has anybody seen Adoni Maropis playing Quan Chi? Has anybody seen him anywhere? And so we hear that on her walkie-talkie, and everybody's like starting to giggle. And she's like, guys, have you seen this guy, Adoni Maropis or Quan Chi? And everybody there just pointed to me. And she goes, sir, I'm so sorry, sir. I didn't realize you were a guy. And I said, that's okay. And everybody's like, what? And I was thinking, treat people with respect.
Yeah.
Treat everybody with respect. You know what I mean? We all need each other. We all need to make this TV show happen. We all need the extras to be where they need to be. We all need to eat food. We all need, no one's better than anybody else. The extras should be getting the good food as well as, the other cast. Everybody deserves the same, the way I see it. So, it was just hilarious. This woman, man, I swear.
I think she learned something there.
Yeah, she did. I'm sure she did. You never know who you're going to communicate with, who could, if nothing else, for your future, right, moving ahead. You might want to treat people with respect, because usually extras don't want to be extras their whole life. They want to be directors or actors or producers or,
Yeah, great point.
And everybody starts somewhere.
Yeah. But just in general, just treat everybody with respect.
Sure, yeah. I don't see why we have to treat each other like that.
Yeah, leave your whip behind closed doors, when you want to. Someone wants that whip, but otherwise, Anyway. Yeah.
So, Adoni, in Mortal Kombat Conquest, your character had that perfect voice. Do you mind telling us some of your favorite things that your character said?
Well, okay, first of all, we know the simple was like this chapter. But I'm trying to think of, like I told you, that one line where I say, perhaps we could together. Like that one scene with Shao Kahn was so great. Then we start laughing. I love that. I remember Renee Tennyson came in after everybody had been stabbed, been pricked, and she said, "All have been whatever, it's taken care of." And I said something like, "One done." As I was mixing the drink with my pinky or something like that.
Yes.
Done. Miserable sluts. I love that one. Mine are all little short little quips, little short, few words here or there that I remember.
I loved when you were making that sort of poison or potion, and you're kind of like the dust of the nether realm. Do you mind saying that?
What exactly did I say? Is that what I said?
It's like the ingredient that you're putting into the bowl. So you're like the dust of the nether realm. And then you go like blood to blood, darkness to darkness or something.
Blood to blood, darkness to darkness. Something like that, right?
It sounds just like out of the episode. That's awesome.
Something like that.
I did want to ask, I find it very interesting that, I mean, again, you've not played any video games, but you have actually played a character in a pretty well-known game, Command and Conquer.
Yes. That was hilarious. I actually saw that one time in my life. I was on a plane and someone was playing the game and they made it to whatever, the 14th, whatever you need to win to get to see my character with James Earl Jones, right? We have the scene together where we're talking. And I saw myself, like I could just see across, I see this person playing the game and there's me having my big scene, James Earl Jones. When I filmed that, it was again hilarious because James Earl Jones was not. It was in Las Vegas, and they had me on a green screen, and they had someone reading James Earl Jones's lines. Now I'm rehearsing this in my head, right? I'm imagining me saying a line. I was playing this, the foreigner from another place, another realm. I was playing with an accent, and I'm imagining James Earl Jones going, "Turn your ship around, or you will be destroyed." Something like with his deep voice, They had this guy reading his lines like this: "Turn your ship around, or your ship will be destroyed. It will zap you to the other place." And I'm like, oh my god! It reminded me of a movie I did years before. I did this sort of like, it was like this soft core, movie, like a Red Shoe Diary, right? A lot of nudity, it was like simulated sex scenes, whatever. It was like my first thing I did when I shaved my head. Anyway, I played this character. I didn't have any nude scenes, but I was filming these girls. I was a photographer, and they get into it, right? They're doing this scene together. And I was there for all their takes, all their lines, all that stuff. But when it was my close-up, they had this old woman sitting in a chair reading these lines. And I had to imagine these beautiful women, going at it and saying these lines. And this one was like, "Oh, that feels good." Oh my God. But anyway, yeah, that James Earl Jones. I was thinking, oh man, I'm going to meet James Earl Jones. I'm going to, this is going to be amazing. And then I'm reading with this guy and he's just like, oh God. Anyway, that's acting, man. That's acting. A lot of times you don't have to act.
So I know you haven't played the games. I don't know if you're aware of this, but the character Quan Chi has one of the most famous fatalities where he rips somebody's legs off, or rips a person's leg off and just starts brutally beating them while they're trying to crawl away with their own leg.
With his own leg?
Yeah,
beating
their leg.
Oh my God. Wow.
It's actually funny on that topic with fatalities. Quan Chi is known as well for possibly, it depends on how you look at it, either the best or the worst fatality in Mortal Kombat. And it's pretty much where he jumps on his opponent and pulls their neck. And instead of their head coming off, as you would expect in typical Mortal Kombat fashion, their neck extends.
Oh my God. Wow.
Ridiculous.
Like 6-foot giraffe neck all of a sudden.
Yeah, baby. I like that.
I'm curious, have you seen any of the Mortal Kombat fatalities, or did you have any personal favorites?
I don't. Honest to God, guys, I have glimpsed a few things, like I've seen a few fights because of my curiosity, but I've never played the game. I've never seen a whole game. I've never, it's just not, I've never been in the game. Honestly, it's hilarious.
It's amazing. I love it. Yeah.
I would say that your favorite finisher could possibly be where you get encased in cobalt by a shadow priest.
Yes.
So, Donnie, tell our fans, where can they find you? And tell us a little bit about your YouTube channel, too.
I mean, I'm on Adoni-Maropis.com. It's my website. And then I have a YouTube channel. So, there's different things on there. Like, people always want to sell themselves as what their image is. But me, I'm everything. I have so many things that I want to just show it all, not just be one note, because I'm not a one note kind of guy. So it's all on there, and my YouTube channel crashed like 2 years ago, and I lost all my, I had thousands of hits on my YouTube channel and whatever.
Oh,
and
no.
it all got ruined. So I think I have a couple that reached 1,000 again, but that was kind of frustrating. I couldn't get it back because someone had found my number through Google. And so I just deleted Google, and I didn't realize it would affect my YouTube, destroy it. Yeah. So anyway, but everything is, there's a lot of stuff on there, from Quan Chi, the new recent Quan Chi stuff, and to my, my reels. And, like I said, I juggle, I play ping pong, so I have ping pong, juggling, singing, different things. Different things are on there.
We'll definitely leave a link to your channel in the description of the video for sure.
Good.
Do you have any other, acting projects or anything else that you're currently working on that the fans could check out?
I just did a short that's pretty cool. It's a very kind of unique character. It's me, but not me at the same time. It's a guy who's a hermit of light, and it has a horror kind of feel, but it's not. It's a psychological kind of thriller, but it's a short, and we just put it out there in the festivals, and we'll see, because the festivals aren't really opening up. It's going to be an online thing, so I hope people can catch that.
Okay.
I have a trailer up on my YouTube channel, but it's called The Darkness Before Me. But it's something that maybe people have never seen me do or portray, like my emotional side. The trailer doesn't give anything away, really, but yeah, it's interesting.
Just for that reason, I like the trailer already, because so many trailers these days give everything away. They're definitely going to have to check that out.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't give anything away, but hopefully it'll lure you in, and you'll see there's something unique about this guy, So.
And you're the main character in that too, aren't you?
Yeah. Me and Eliza Kelly is the lead actress with me, and she produced it.
Awesome. All right.
So yeah. So that's the one thing I have, and yeah. And the other thing, I wrote a script with my father. We've been trying to get up for as long as Mortal Kombat. Ever since Mortal Kombat, that's when we wrote the script, and we rewrote it many times after that. But, we're in the throes of getting that up, but hopefully that'll happen sometime in the near future.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you to all our listeners for stopping by. And thank you very much, Adoni, for joining us on this episode. It was a pleasure to have you on the Realm Kast.
Thank you.
Oh, man, it was a pleasure talking to you guys. Thanks for taking me back in time.
We really hope to have you again sometime.
Oh, yeah, we would love it.
Yeah, man, it was great. Thanks.
And special thanks to Uppercut Editions for their continued support. You can find them at Encyclopedia MK on Twitter and the Mortal Kombat Encyclopedia Project on Facebook. You can catch up to all episodes of the Realm Kast on YouTube, Facebook, iTunes, and Spotify. You can find Yanni and myself, Phantom, on the Mortal Kombat group on Facebook, as well as Yanni on the Mortal Kombat meme realm. Have a great day.
Thank you.